One of the more common problems that I get all the time, one of the more common complaints that I hear about in terms of obedience or lack of obedience or bad house manners is from people who have multiple dogs. Now, when I say multiple dogs, I mean if you have more than one dog, you have multiple dogs. If you have two dogs, three dogs, you have multiple dogs. Usually, if people have two dogs, the problem is not that big of a problem. It becomes more of a problem when people have usually three dogs or four dogs. I've heard from people who had 6 to 10 dogs, and in some of the lighter cases, only one dog or one or two dogs were the problem. In the other cases, the more severe cases, none of the dogs, all of the dogs were completely a problem. Were completely rude, completely disobedient, completely inappropriate. And so whether you have a problem with one dog or whether you have a problem with all the dogs, the steps that you're going to take to solve this problem are going to be essentially the same that you would take with fixing the problem with one dog. And here's what you have to do, whether you have one dog or 10 dogs. You have to develop a very strong relationship with your dog, with each particular dog. See, with one dog it's not a problem. With two dogs it's even not a problem, because most people have the time and the energy to develop that relationship with one dog or two dogs or even three dogs. But the problem becomes when people have 3, 4 dogs or maybe even two dogs, where they don't have that time to develop that relationship with each dog. What a lot of people end up doing, I'm going to digress a little bit. A lot of people get one dog. They can't develop their relationship with that one dog. They notice that there is something missing. And what do? They say, oh, I feel bad for him. He needs a friend. So they get another dog. Their intentions are great because they feel bad for that one dog. They feel that the dog needs something. And the dog probably does. But what they do is they get another dog. The problem here is they haven't even developed a good relationship or established a good relationship with that one dog, and now they're bringing another dog into the picture. And then they notice, well, maybe I should get another dog. And they happen to have 5 dogs, 6 dogs. And that's not a problem at all. You can have 10 dogs if you wanted to. That's perfectly fine. But you have to make sure that you develop your relationship with each dog. When you don't develop your relationship with each dog, that's when you have the problems. Because see, what multiple dogs tend to do, if they don't get the structure, if they don't get the communication from their owners, they will get it themselves. And they will do this in a pack. And they will do this in a pack structure. They will form their own pack. They will form their own little clique. And they make it so that they become the main event and you just become the audience. You're on the sidelines. It's not a place you want to be with multiple dogs, because then you're not important to them. They are more important to each other. So if you have to separate your dogs, then you have to separate your dogs. And usually that's what you have to do. You want to separate your dogs to where you become the most important being in their eyes. You want to make it so you are more important to them, to each one of them, than they are to each other. And you will probably have to separate them. You'll probably have to spend more time individually. And you make it so that time with each other is a privilege. And you start that way. Eventually you can let them have more and more time together. But essentially that's the strategy. Develop your relationship with one dog. Same thing, you have to develop your relationship with each particular dog. If you have more than 3 dogs, more than one dog actually. And you'll find out that you'll have an easier time that way.